What I do is I help children, teens, and adults that are struggling, usually academically, with strategies that can help them be more successful. I work with Holly Oberacker, who is an art therapist in Centerville, and together we have co-founded Navigating ADHD, which is a company that focuses on support for children with ADHD, family support, professional support, and helping people get on the same page on what ADHD is and isn't, and pulling out the strengths that children that we work with have. Our approach is very strength-based. We're all about figuring out what children's strengths are, or I should say helping them figure out what their own strengths are. That's the most powerful thing in working with children with ADHD, is pulling out what those strengths are. We work together from combining our two perspectives. So I was a teacher, and when I was teaching, most of the students that I had were typically having a hard time in school. So I've taken that perspective into my work with children with ADHD, and Holly and I have combined her expertise in working on the emotional side of ADHD, and we combine that to offer children and families the best support system that we feel we can provide. It's really beneficial to have an academic perspective, an educational perspective, as well as a counseling perspective, because we get to really help children deal with and face everything that's happening for them in regards to ADHD. So we can help them with school, but we can also help them with some of the emotional things that may go along with it, like self-esteem, getting anxious or nervous in new situations, and making changes. Our philosophy is really helping children and families and professionals realize the flip side of ADHD, which is all about having a shift in thinking about ADHD and the struggles, and shifting it to ADHD and all the positives that are inside children that we're helping. You know, it's great because we see immediate results, especially with families that we're working with. We can sit down, have a conversation, and they will tell us, you know, what? I've never heard that there's something positive about ADHD. And so immediately, there's an immediate shift. They leave us, go home, and they suddenly are having a different level of awareness about all the possibilities in store for their children. So many families and children will tell us that, you know, they felt like they just weren't going to be able to be successful, or that they just didn't feel all that hopeful anymore. And by simply informing them on what ADHD is and all the great possibilities in their future, it automatically starts a new positive journey for them, which is great. That's what Holly and I love about it. Both families and kids, teens, whatever age group, the first thing they usually say is that we understand. And that for the first time they feel listened to, that they can just tell us what's going on and we're not judging any of it. When a child walks into my office, I just listen to what's hard, what's been hard, and then educate them on what's going on in their brain, and then helping them figure out how they're going to move forward. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things that our clients say, is that we understand. I'd say the key is that everything we offer is realistic and can be applied immediately. So there's nothing that Holly and I recommend or think about that's abstract, that is something, you know, we just kind of thought of or read somewhere. It's all things that we have been using for years, that we've seen be successful time and time again, and it's real and it's immediate, so people can leave and implement a strategy the moment they get home. The first step is we offer a half-hour or so complimentary consults, where we invite parents or caretakers for children to come in and sit down, talk to us about what's going on for them, and then Holly and I together strategize a plan that we think is going to be most helpful for this family. So it could be, we recommend a support group, a workshop, seeing their children ourselves, or recommending that they go for neuropsychological testing. You know, we help them and formulate a plan, and then help them figure out what's the next step.